Normally, I'm not very big on sharing what I'm working on. I'm not sure why that is, but now that I'm getting close to finishing a product, and I mean one that was built from scratch, mostly by myself, with little help from others, I think it's time to start up a devlog because I now can promise that this site will be fully released. MusicCards.io is a website for beginning band teachers that provides students with instrument-relevant flashcards to aid in memorizing note names and fingerings. All the band director needs to do is create an account, add students to their profile, and share the students' custom URLs. There's no student accounts to deal with, and you don't even need to enter information about the student other than what instrument they play. Using that custom URL, students can practice their flashcards on a daily basis, and as they master information, new material is added to their quizzes, expanding their knowledge of their instrument. Meanwhile, when the teacher returns to their profile, they are presented with automatically generated assessment data that they can use to track student growth, identify problems, and plan instruction. The main goal of MusicCards.io is to reduce workload of the teacher by automatically streamlining assessment data from the flashcard quizzes straight to the teacher without intermediate tasks in between. In my years of teaching, I came to appreciate the free online tools to aid in learning a band instrument. However, I also found the online resources extremely cumbersome, requiring manual checking of student quizzes. For example, once I tried to create custom challenges on musictheory.net and used a Google form for students to submit their completion codes. While that system did work, it was a lot of manual back and forth between browser tabs and added a lot of extra administrative work to my day. Not to mention the time it took to create the custom activities on the site and making sure students completed the correct one. I decided enough was enough and something had to change. That's where Music.io came from. So now that I've given you a bit of background of what it is that I'm making, let's get on to devlogging. Here's an outline of what the project has looked like and where the project is going. We are currently in beta release, so before I forget, make sure to go over to MusicCards.io and sign up for a free beta account. I want to measure how well the server can handle load, so the more teachers teaching with MusicCards, the better. So the last year and a half I've spent getting most of the basic features completed. I won't go into details because that work is all finished, but it's safe to say that I have a fully working site now. However, one of the lacking areas is how the teacher can view the assessment data that is collected. Currently, you can only view individual activities that were completed, which is good for getting details about what happened on a particular day, but it isn't great information for an overview of student growth. I did make a first attempt at this, which shows a snapshot of the most recent statistics on the student. But I also think it's rather limited, so I decided to work on some sort of growth chart. As I thought about what I wanted to have access to as a band director, I mainly thought about key signatures. It's very important to know if a student has a decent understanding of the individual pitches of a scale before diving into learning a song in that key, so I created a circle of fifths selector for interactively filtering the student data by key signature. Here's what it looks like so far. This UI is currently a draft with some test data, but I like how it's coming along. I would estimate it's about 50% done, but you can never know when you're writing code. You can toggle between note names, fingering charts, and you can change the score based on accuracy, speed, and how much of the instrument range they've unlocked, or an average of all three. There is also a toggle to quickly compare the student score with the class average. I'm still developing a way to add comparison with students of the same instrument, so you can, for example, see how your whole trumpet section is progressing. Now, where the magic comes in, currently there's nothing selected on this circle of fifths. The chart is measuring all of the pitches on the instrument, but I can select B-flat major here, and the MusicCards automatically filters the pitches so only B-flat major is calculated. You can also switch between major and minor, and toggle concert pitch or instrument pitch to keep your head straight. But just to show you how this is relevant, if I look at, say, F-sharp major, you will see that the students started learning pitches from that scale a lot later than B-flat major. So this would be a very useful tool if you wanted to, say, print some concrete data for your administrators proving that your kids are learning things in your class. Or maybe if you're not sure if they're ready to play in G major, so you can check that. That brings me to one of the core concepts of MusicCards.io, which is continuous assessment. The idea is that MusicCards handles all of the assessment collecting and grading for you, so you can spend more time learning about your band from the data and focus mainly on teaching the musicality of their instrument. You'll be able to verify that kids can read music themselves rather than faking it or learning by ear. How would you want to be able to see this data to help your teaching? Please share your comments below so I can make this feature better for you. Honestly, this feature is difficult to write because it's been hard to even wrap my head around what can be done with this type of information. One of the key tasks in programming is clearly defining the problem. But there are so many new doors that this opens up in education, it's hard to even do that. Several past attempts ended up in either being too complicated, overwhelming, or not effective. I do have a huge thanks to Material UI, who has created most of these user interface components, and that makes a lot of putting this together really easy. But the circle of fifths, that one I made myself. Anyway, if you want to support what I'm making here, please share this video, like it, subscribe to our channel. Also, make sure to visit our Facebook page if you like notifications that way. Sign up for MusicCards.io and use it in your classroom this year. Send me feedback about what is good and what needs work. MusicCards.io has been funded entirely by the blood, sweat, and tears of Chris Rood. While MusicCards is still in beta, you can support him financially by buying him a coffee, which would be greatly appreciated. See the link in the description. Until next devlog, have a great day and thanks for watching.